Please be seated. Let us pray. The Lord, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable unto you, our rock and our redeemer. Well, thank heaven that we were given the crown and jewels of the Bible this week. That's what one monk called the Old and New Testament lessons that we heard today. 2 of the top 10 of all time, he said. In just one Sunday, we got to hear probably the best summary of what all the Old Testament prophets say, that quoted line from Micah. And we heard a second, Beatitudes, Jesus' famous Sermon on the Mount. For clergy, it's like having Big Poppy get a grand slam to clear the bases. It might even be right up there with the Patriots winning another Super Bowl this week. Almost. We need these 2 heavy hitters this week, Micah and Jesus' somewhat mystifying words of the Beatitudes, because it's been quite a week, the first 8 days of President Trump's administration. The passage that Eleanor read us from Michael culminates with words found on the very first page of our prayer book. They have long grounded us, so we often open with them as we did today. With what shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the High King? He hath shown the immortal what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee? But to do justice, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. To do justice, to love mercy, translated today as kindness, and to walk humbly with God. Now the context could be a courtroom scene with all of creation as the witnesses. The mountains are listening on, and the earth is the jury, and God is bringing a case before the people of Israel. He's contending against them, arguing that they've broken their part of the contract, the covenant that God has made with the people. In that covenant, God promised to be their God, to love and support them. And the people promised to be true to Him, following His laws. But the people have gone astray, God says. Their part of the bargain unmet. Well, maybe the scene in Micah isn't so much a courtroom with a judge and a jury and a verdict to be rendered, so much as it's a conversation between 2 lovers. God, heartbroken and distraught at the people's unfaithfulness, wanting to talk, waiting for their response. Oh, my dears, God says, what have I done to deserve this? Tell me. I've loved you with my whole heart. When you were a slave in Egypt, I came to your rescue. I brought you out. I gave you good leaders, Moses and Aaron and Miriam. Don't you remember this? And all the other times I have saved you. Why have you left me? And the people respond, perhaps chastened and maybe a bit defiant and pouting. Both are ways that we can respond when we're reminded how far we've fallen short. Home late again. Unable to pick up the child from school again. Still working on that home improvement project supposed to be complete last month. Or worse, the affair discovered. Oh, my dear one, God says, what have I done to you to deserve this? Tell me. If ashamed, we say with the people in Micah, we are so sorry, God. What can we do to make things right? If we bring burnt offerings to your temple, will we be reconciled? Should we send flowers or chocolate? What you want? But if the people of God are this defiant, then maybe they would say, we would say, what could we ever do that would satisfy you? Should we bring 10,000s of rams, God? I mean 10,000s of rivers of oil? Put everything in the offering plate, each thing we own? Should we give our firstborn, maybe our right arm? Would that finally be enough for you, God? Should we quit our job so that then we'll never be late again? Coming home, would that suffice? And then Micah steps in. I think of him as the mediator or the counselor who is committed to rebuilding this relationship, and he says to them, God has already told you what's good, the way to live, the way to be true to who you really are. And what does God require of you? Only this. Only this. Do justice. Love kindness. Walk humbly with God. There it is. In 3 little clauses, the goal of our being, of our time on earth, doing justice. Making life more fair for all. Why? Because God loves each one of us without exception. God yearns for justice on the earth. And then we're given the way, the means to achieve this goal of doing justice. First, by loving kindness, treasuring that way of acting, and then second, by walking with God, being spiritually humble. Micah is in the top 10 of Bible quotes. You could memorize this one. What does the Lord require? Do justice. Love kindness. Walk humbly with God. I want to take them one by one. I'm fascinated to learn of we'll call it a typo, in the Episcopal Book of Common Prayer. I went to find mine, and there it was on page 847 in the Catechism. What does God ask of us people? To be faithful, to love justice, and do mercy. Wait. The verbs are wrong, did you notice? Love justice and do mercy. That's not what Micah said. And I remember this clearly, the business about doing justice. Because there was an older pastor who became my friend who'd been raised in evangelical West Texas. And over time he decided to leave behind not only home, but a bit of what he'd been taught there. He decided to go to places where he thought Jesus would have gone and lived today, where he most likely is still found today, by any willing to see his face in the face of other humans. So in New York City, he worked in Brooklyn and the crumbling housing projects, and here in Boston, he pastored a small church in Roxbury across from the courthouse and police station in Dudley Square. And when he once preached at a rally of the Greater Boston Interfaith Organization, he was calling for living wages of janitors, immigrants, those unseen in tall office towers, toiling invisibly while the lawyers and finance folks are at home asleep. Then this minister in his message thundered out Micah's passage. We were to do justice, not just love it, not just admire it as a lovely theoretical concept, achievable maybe by someone else, and maybe sometime in the future. Don't just talk about justice, he said. Micah insists, see justice as God's high purpose, the end goal of God for this world. Justice, the kingdom of earth here, where each treats his neighbor just the way he'd like to be treated himself. Do justice, says Micah. But of course that doesn't answer the question of what justice is as the Bible sees it. What is it and what is it not? Justice isn't retribution, not vengeance, getting even, score settling, making the other guy pay for what he did to you. I've always been startled when people assume God's justice is that, retribution. It's a human instinct that we might attribute to God. Certainly some biblical authors have. But your definition of justice depends on how you envision God. If your God is a tyrant and a punisher of wrongs, then I guess that God, like a merciless judge, would render justice like a vicious sword, cutting the cruel down to size, tallying wrongs, balancing the score at the end of time, justice as retribution. But the definition, the description, was God for whom I grope and yearn to know. The one I find most true is seen through the lens of the human Jesus, the one whose other name is love. That God, for me, has as his defining characteristic forgiveness and compassion. God renewing the covenant with the people even when they've broken it. The Spirit of Jesus returning to empower us even after humans murdered him. And if that is your image of God, then the justice required of us is grounded in compassion, not retribution. Justice, at least as fairness, at least as bare equity. Justice as minimally treated people the way we'd like to be treated. Justice more generously is the compassionate caring for the poor, the widow, the orphan, the stranger, those far from their home. Those about whom the Old Testament prophets spoke ceaselessly. Justice, repairing the breach, making life more fair, especially for the stranger, which means the refugee. In Micah, we also define justice as different from charity. You've heard this before, I know. Charity is important. It relieves the suffering here and now. Charity hands out a sandwich to the hungry, but justice makes those sandwiches unnecessary. It insists on enough housing and kitchens and enough mental health treatment and addiction beds available so women and men aren't homeless and hungry in the first place. So they, like we, can make the sandwiches they choose. Mayo or mustard, ham or turkey nuts, what we handle. More deeply, justice insists that the veterans returning from war aren't shunned as happened after Vietnam. Insists that kids are protected from abuse, the stuff that lies behind so much homelessness in the first place. The kind of justice that insists refugees are given shelter better than flimsy tents or cardboard when we well can afford it. Justice also demands that wars not be fought without counting the full cost, that living wages are paid so parents don't snap, striking under the stress of being unable to pay the doctor's bill because all those injustices accumulate. Those fundamental inequities are tallied a generation later in our homeless census. They're seen in the face of the one to whom we offer the sandwich. Justice has its work to prevent homelessness. And our goal as God's people is to build social structures that give everyone a fair and equitable chance at life, at food, at drink, and help the world over. That's our goal as God's people, God's justice. In some ways, it's been my life's work. So I want to be the first to not be Pollyanna-ish about it, to acknowledge how heavy it is, how hard it is, how long one must work, and I'm not doing it directly now, full-time. As a young student, I tried through politics to believe that who we elect and who leads us matters. I believe that. Later, when I was in government, I believed that who we select as a judge matters. How we legislate who can buy a gun matters. How we treat those in prison, whether we provide education and jobs for young gang members or young mothers, how easily poor people or children are knocked off health care. Only Bill Gates really, with his level of charity, can impact as many people as government can, deciding who is helped and who is not, some days with a stroke of a pen. I think politics and government are deeply entwined with whether God's justice is done. But I also come to see how deeply our inner work matters our souls, the manner in which we seek and do the justice. So Micah instructs, how are we to do justice? What are the methods required of us? Just these things. Love, kindness. Walk humbly with God, attentively, some translations say. Yes, we want to be merciful to those struggling most, remaining steadfast in our kindness, even when efforts are ignored. People are ungrateful. You're blamed for the turmoil and unrest. Even in the words of the Beatitudes, people revile you, persecute you, and utter all kinds of evil against you because you're seeking justice. That's when you must treasure the steadfast love, the unending grace and kindness of God. Loving kindness, adoring it yourself as a way of treating others. It's not an attitude that's natural to us humans, is it? Our instinct, our reptile brain suggests we fight or take flight. To love kindness, to love it, takes training and discipline. As certainly as Dr. King had to train his followers to remain disciplined and non-violent in the face of horror returned to them. It's hard, but we can train to be fully appreciated, to be in love with the infinite value of kindness, treating others always with empathy and respect, of treasuring as if it were the greatest gold in the world, God's steadfast, loving kindness to us. Sometimes we call it grace. And to do that, well, we come to Micah's third point. He had said, do justice and love kindness, and then walk attentively with God, spiritually humble, not assuming we alone know God's mind in any given circumstance. Knowing God is God and we are not. One author writes this: God's call for action in Micah on behalf of the less fortunate is joined with the call to journey with God, and that's important because the one will deeply affect the other. Doing justice will impact our work with God. Walking with God will impact our ability to do justice. And one final note. We hear that this doing of justice, loving of kindness is what God requires of us. Sounds hard. It is hard. But it doesn't mean that it is a God who will swat us into place if we fail to deliver A+ justice. Remember, the people of Micah's community failed with a solid effort. But God remained with them, renewing the covenant. It's not some requirement that you can't get into heaven without. No. God requires this. As a flower requires sunshine and water, says one author. We will flourish. Our relationship with God will flower when we seek justice for all God's lives. Walk with me, God urges. Be in a true relationship with me as you understand me to be. Take me seriously. Not some promise, some covenant, some marriage by name only, but true love. This congregation with God, as beautiful as a field ablaze with colorful wildflowers of every variety, soaking up God's warmth and light, flourishing. So my friends, hear the ancient words, do justice and love kindness and walk humbly with your God. May it be so.